This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers lost a close one in Minnesota last night. They fell short to the Timberwolves 108-106. A strong game from Clippers center Ivica Zubac, 17 points, 16 rebounds, and 6 block shots. Kawhi Leonard, playing in his second game this season, remains on a minutes restriction to protect his right knee. Leonard had 8 points in 21 minutes. The Clippers are at Denver Wednesday night. The Lakers are back in action tonight. They're at Dallas. The UCLA women's basketball team, ranked number 1 in the nation, is at Purdue tonight. The Bruins are 15-0, 4-0 in the Big Ten. USC's women's basketball team, ranked 4th in the country, is at number 8 Maryland Wednesday night. The Chargers made an interesting move on Monday. They signed free agent running back Ezekiel Elliott. Elliott was cut by the Dallas Cowboys last week. The Chargers might use him in Saturday's wildcard playoff game at Houston. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is for all the folks who appreciate follow-through. Here's a quick recap of the KBLA Talk 1580 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. More than 6.4 million Southern Californians viewed our climate justice billboards and bus shelters. Another 1.5 million people listened to and or downloaded our weekly conversations with African American climate experts. Our KBLA Climate Justice web portal had 2.8 million unique visitors. Thousands more attended our 7 climate justice community events. More than 9.3 million riders saw our climate care messaging on metro buses and trains. And 39 million Americans accessed our C-SPAN Climate Justice Symposium. All told, our 2024 Climate Justice Campaign exceeded 471 million total impressions. KBLA Talk 1580 thanks all of our 2024 Climate Justice partners: LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, Sierra Club, California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, LA City Council member Curran D. Price Jr., the California Wellness Foundation, MWD, AQMD, and the Port of Los Angeles. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580. 1580.
It's Stevie Wonder on Tavis, Smiley. Delighted to have you with us in this final hour of our program today. As promised, 2 conversations in this hour. We got our laugh on the backside of this hour with actor, comedian, singer, and performer Tommy Davidson. Speaking of music, Tommy did a song a few months ago that I actually heard last night, and I don't know how I'd missed this, but believe it or not, Tommy Davidson can sing. You guys have seen his stand-up. He's not just funny, but he's also a talented singer, not unlike Jamie Foxx. And Tommy was on a record with Earth, Wind, and Fire, The Elements, a song called Stronger. We'll play a little taste of that in case you haven't heard it, but who knew? Tommy Davidson singing with The Elements, Earth, Wind, and Fire. We're talking to Tommy Davidson again on the backside of this hour as we wrap today's show. But I'm delighted to welcome back to this program now attorney, author, political strategist, and daughter of Nancy, Christine Pelosi, to talk about the future of the Democratic Party and maybe a couple other things. Christine, good to have you back. Happy New Year. How are you today?
I am well. Thank you, Tavis. Happy New Year to all.
Thank you for that. Let me start with the obvious, at least the obvious for me, and I think many of those persons who are fans of your mother. We all saw the story some weeks ago about your mother's fall and the surgery. How is Nancy Pelosi?
She is great. We're here in Washington, D.C., just past the beautiful Lincoln Memorial a little while ago, and it's always inspiring to be in Washington, D.C. She flew back last week in order to get sworn in to the 119th Congress, and yesterday, in just 30 minutes, less than half an hour, was a peaceful transfer of power, as it should have been 4 years ago, as it should always be. But, she's even rocking some low heels. They're a little chunkier than the stilettos, but she got the walker for the upper arm strength, and she's got the low-heeled boots to cruise around the halls. So she's already patrolling the halls of Congress again, casting her ballot and being reunited with a Democratic caucus that, under the leadership of Hakeem Jeffries, is ready to fight to save our health care and defend our vulnerable communities.
Please.
So she's doing well. Thank you for asking.
No. Please give her our love, our warm regards, and our best wishes for a very speedy recovery. You can't keep a good woman down. So Nancy Pelosi is back on her feet again, doing what she has done so well for so long, and that's good news. You said a moment ago, you used the word a moment ago, inspiring, and I know exactly what you meant, that being in Washington is always inspiring. Was it inspiring to be in Washington yesterday when Donald Trump was certified as the next president?
I'll tell you why it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because democracy won.
Yeah.
And to see Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States, California's own Kamala Harris, up there doing what needed to be done. Now, I was there when Al Gore certified the election of George Bush and Dick Cheney, and as then the Democratic Vice President, a class act, doing the work and making sure that people understood. You lose an election, it doesn't mean you lose your values. It doesn't mean you lose your fire to defend people or your belief in the democratic system. It does mean that these are going to be some very tough and dark times for our most vulnerable communities. The Republicans just had on the floor a vote today, the Lake and Riley Act, not to protect people from violent criminals. That would have been one thing. But to say if you're a DACA kid and you're arrested and charged with shoplifting, you could be deported before they even bring charges. Let's say you're out with a bunch of kids are out. One person does it, or maybe does it, gets accused. The other kids are all together. They all get rounded up. The undocumented ones would be deported rather than simply not charged and sent home and maybe not engaging in social activity with the actual perpetrators. So it's scary. It's scary for young people. It's scary for vulnerable communities. Yeah. It is scary for Americans who worry about their health care, their Social Security, their veterans benefits. And, when you see the former president talking tough to Panama and Canada and Greenland rather than getting tough with his own members of his own Republican Party who want to just bring out the worst in people, you think this is going to take democratic unity. It's going to take the vision that we have articulated by Hakeem Jeffries in his gavel speech on Friday. That's the blueprint. Yeah. That's the blueprint. This is not, Tavis, this is not resistance like it was 8 years ago. A couple op-eds are out there. Oh, Democrats, don't repeat yourselves. Like, we weren't going to do that. That's a straw man, respectfully. Yeah. What Democrats are going to do is not be antagonized by every stupid thing that Donald Trump says. We're going to focus on the most harm that could be done to our vulnerable communities and try to uplift them. And where, if, God bless him, he actually decides to do something that actually keeps any of his promises to help working people, then he'll have partners. But if not, Democrats will stand our ground.
When we come forward, I want to talk about that Democratic unity that Christine Pelosi just referenced a moment ago. For those who've been listening to the show all day, you heard in our last hour, one of our guest last hour, suggest that Democrats missed a moment yesterday. They didn't show up. Kamala did her part, but Democrats didn't show up. You can be a class act, to quote Christine Pelosi. You can be the adult in the room and still have a show of force, a show of resistance. If Republicans... if this thing had gone the other way, we know they would have shown up in full force yesterday. Democrats really didn't show up. What does that mean? How do we read that? A great deal more to talk about with Christine Pelosi when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
From California to the Carolinas, everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Get out the way. Ooh. First things first with Dominique DePrima at 6 a.m. Tavis Smiley at 9 a.m. Truth Time with Dr. Cornell West and Nina Turner at 12 noon. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show at 1 p.m. The D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show at 2 p.m. A More Perfect Union with Dr. Nee Quarterly Forte at 4 p.m. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. Tune in weekdays from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the talk of the town. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about. Here they come, y'all. Here they come.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
You are indeed with Christine Pelosi, author, political strategist. Delighted to have her on this program. She just updated us moments ago on the health of her mother, the Speaker Emeritus, Nancy Pelosi, doing quite well, recovering after that hip replacement surgery. So that's good news. So let me hasten to make the most of the time that we have left here, Christine. I had a guest on last hour, and there were a number of listeners who chimed in as well, suggesting that they think Democrats missed a moment yesterday. You can be a class act. You can be the adult in the room and still show up and show some resistance, show some form of pushback. Again, if this thing had gone the other way, we know that Republicans would have shown up in force to make some sort of statement, and Democrats, for whatever reason, chose not to do that yesterday. And so to some people, it just looked like they laid down. And now, as again, our guest said last hour, we were told by Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Hakeem Jeffries, who you mentioned earlier, all these Democrats told us for the last year or two that Donald Trump was an existential threat to our very democracy. and now Democrats are saying we're going to work with him. So how do you respond to those persons who saw yesterday and didn't see Democrats really stand up in any meaningful way, as Democrats really just rolling over and giving in, as it were?
Well, I think there are two elements. One, Friday, you saw the blueprint of how Democrats are going to stand up and use the leverage we have. Remember, Democrats gained seats in the House of Representatives. Mm-hmm. So there is a 1 or 2 vote margin depending on when members of Congress get elected, or, Gates didn't come back, Stefanik is leaving, Collins is leaving, et cetera. So the fact of the matter is that's where the resistance in the House is going to come from. And that was a strategic decision made by Leader Jeffries. I think you saw a lot of support for him and for his leadership on Friday. And you, as I said, when you looked at how the Democrats voted against the rule and are insisting that the Democratic House caucus is united in voting against these rules that take away the voices of the American people, you will see a strong bit of resistance. I think that is substantive and real. And I do know that when it comes to the threat that we are experiencing with Donald Trump, we are going to have to make sure. I talked to some senators yesterday who are there for the vote, and they're very clear that they're going to use every tool that they have. So sometimes it looks performative, like when you stand up and you say we object. Other times it may be something happening behind the scenes. 100% of the time you should see Democratic House unity and Senate unity when it comes to opposing these proposals of his. And as a practical matter, if, and I think it's a big if the president is actually going to do something that helps Social Security, I don't think he will. I think we got to tell him hands off. Mm-hmm. But if there was something that they did that helped veterans, if there was something that he did that actually helped people, I don't think there's a point in standing on ceremony. But for the most part, this is going to be a very, very vigorous fight. It's going to have to be. We are going to have to be very, very concerned about the norms that are the norms are all gone when it comes to Trump, but in terms of how it affects the safety and well-being of the American people. And that's really what you're seeing. And again, I think you'll see that more in the Senate, where even in the minority, they have the power to do that. What you'll see in the House are unified Democrats saying you're not going to get support here for that ridiculous tax cut that you want to give to the richest people at the expense of America's working families. So I don't think it behooves any elected official to say, I'm going to 100% be opposed to absolutely everything the president does. I don't think that equates with rolling over, though.
Yep. So
I really don't. And that was not the mood among the over 200 Democrats I was with this morning who were ready to, go to the walls to defend their most vulnerable communities. And we'll have to see that in the DNC debate as we're looking to elect a new chair. There are many of us saying, look, this has to be a robust messaging operation and a resistance operation out in the field, out on the doors, out in media like yourself, Tavis, taking the message to the people to say, we're here fighting for you.
I am not obviously in these closed-door meetings that are happening inside the Democratic Party to choose its next leader. But at the moment, certainly when Joe Biden steps off the stage a few days from now, there will be no titular head, as it were, of the Democratic Party until somebody's elected as the head of the DNC. So I'm not in these meetings, but I'm reading stuff every day, not about Democratic unity, but about Democratic disunity, about all the infighting as they're trying to figure out who this leader is going to be. If you want to opine on that, I'm happy to hear it. But I'm reading the same stories you're reading in the press about what's actually happening behind closed doors. Again, I'm happy to hear your comment on that. But what I'm really pressing toward is this question. I'm not asking you to give me an individual, a name. That's not my question. I am asking you to tell me, Christine Pelosi, at this moment in time, the kind of profile that you believe the Democrats need to put forward as the leader of their party.
Well, I think there's two things. One, 1,700 of us were on the Labor Council call for the DNC chair race last night. So that's not quite behind. I don't know about the closed door meetings either.
Yeah.
I'm not in a monitor, Tavis. I can tell you they're trying to make them as open source as possible. We had a public listening session in California for the delegates who elect us to the DNC, and we heard from dozens of them telling us what they're looking for in the party. I want someone who is going to invest in the grassroots. I want someone who is going to respect people like me who go door to door up until all the way through the election. There are elections right now in Virginia to hold those legislative majorities and hold Youngkin in check. And obviously, I want people who would be investing in field programs who could go do that. But I do think that when you look at the next generation of leadership, when you look at Hakeem Jeffries in the House, leading the House Democrats, you've got a good speaker, a sharp mind, someone who is able to constantly be in his own community and tell people the importance of being in their communities. They've got some sort of a translation service where they send out their word in like 100 different languages out to their constituents to let people know what's going on and how things affect them. So I think we have a good profile in Hakeem Jeffries as our House Democratic leader. And as for the DNC chair, I think that's a little bit different. Frankly, I want to know where the $2 billion went. And I am drafting a resolution that will talk about not extending long-term consultant contracts or staffing commitments for the new chair until we do an after-action review. I want to know where the last money went before we spend the next money.
Yeah, let me jump in.
That will be put up for a vote at the end of this month.
No, I'm glad you're pressing on that. Let me press on it in this conversation. For those who have asked this question repeatedly, and there are many Americans who've asked this question, many Democrats who have asked this question, how is it? What's your answer to this question? How is it that you raise over $2 billion in a matter of weeks, frankly, and you still end up in debt? How is that possible?
Well, I think there's two things. One, what we want to know really is where the $800 million that went to consulting firms went.
Right.
What debt that was. So if you're talking, that's a lot of money. But let's be clear, and I wrote about this in my campaign boot camp books because I've been doing boot camps for 20 years now. This year will be 20 years that I've been doing congressional candidate trainings. It started with congressional candidates, but now for candidates running for everything. I remember I had a person who came to my campaign boot camp. He RSVP'd yes on a Friday. On Monday, I got a call from the candidate's media person who said he's putting $2 million into this race of his own money, and I get a 15% commission for media. So why should I have him come learn field from you? There's no commission for that. Like Mr. 15%, right? This guy is calling me out saying you're taking my money. And I'm like, look, because that's $300,000 he could be putting in the field. And until you have a commission for field, the way you have it for mail and TV, guess what? You're going to have mail and TV. You got to have some, but most of it, frankly, I think you go door to door. That's how we won House races. I was at the doors listening to people, they had Tavis, Smiley on, they had Joe Rogan on, they had Fox on, and Espanol at the doors. So, they're there, which meant that as a volunteer at the door, it means I'm on all those shows too, right? Because they turned to me and said, well, I just heard this on the radio. What do you have to say about that? So I got to be prepared. And a good campaign, a field campaign, kind of campaigns Nancy Pelosi runs, with a campaign where not only are you spending the money at the doors, but then you come back and you say, here's what we're learning. People are pissed about inflation, but for them, it's not the price of eggs. It's the interest rate on their credit card debt. It's the mortgage rate on their home. That's what they mean by quote unquote inflation. And so we need to have some responsibility and some responsiveness in the messaging to that. So yeah, I don't know how you spend all the money and get in debt. Yep. It could be an accounting thing, and it could be, win or lose, you shouldn't have money left in the bank at the end of it. But the bigger question is, why did they spend so much money on advertising? And yet, when Trump did his very damaging anti-trans ads, why wasn't there a new ad put on the air to counter that? Why wasn't there innovation? So let's not pay so much attention to the debt because they've raised that to cover it. Let's go, why did you give consultants $800 million for bad advice?
No, you said something now that I've not heard anybody say publicly in the way you just said it, which I appreciate, because everybody saw it. Everybody saw those anti-trans ads that Donald Trump ran, and they were effective. I don't care what you think of them. They were effective, number one. And number two, the Democrats had no response. I was sitting there watching them I'm watching them spots on everything, right? These ads are running everywhere. And when you see it, it's just devastating to have seen that ad. And y'all listening right now know the ad I'm talking about. It ran ad infinitum, ad nauseum everywhere. So we all saw it, but there was never a response to it. And I'm thinking, y'all just raised $2 billion and you're pinging my phone every 2 minutes, asking me to chip in, my favorite phrase, chip in another $5. And there was no response to that, Christine. I did not get that.
Well, that's right.
I still don't get it.
There was response among the House Democrats, and I want to say that. House Democrats, other local candidates did. And I'm going to tell you, I heard that from both sides. I heard that from trans kids saying, why can't someone just say they give a damn about us and we're not taking over everything. We just let us live, right? And they also needed a direct counter ad to that. But it was interesting because the data told them that, according to the consultants, what they said was, no, the data said those ads aren't piercing through. But ads do pierce through. People still may voted on other issues.
Sure.
But they heard that. So it hurt in both directions, Tavis, because it hurt the trans people who were being attacked saying, hey, can someone just say they give a damn about us? And it also hurt people who were like, there's a cadence to these things.
No, I get it.
Point, counterpoint. They're like, just where's the counterpoint? Even if I disagree with the counterpoint,
exactly.
I want to hear you out there fighting and giving it, right? And I think that's why a lot of independents just thought this is an election about the economy, and it's about how people feel when they are under attack economically, and then the racism and the transphobia are let loose in those circumstances, and we got to rein them in. We just have to. I've
got 60 seconds left. I want to give it to you, and I want to just ask a question that puts this in a bite-sized chunk, not something that we can't even really digest. So, what ought the agenda be for Democrats between now and the midterms? Forget 4 years out. The next big election will be these midterms when the Democrats could take back the House or the Senate. So what ought the agenda be very quickly just for the next 2 years, Christine Pelosi?
Well, for the next 2 weeks, literally for the next 5 hours in Virginia, it's get out the vote for Democrats, continue to vote for people who are going to be caring about your kitchen table. The biggest issue is going to be health care, saving our health care. Bush wanted to privatize Social Security. Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid and the Save Our Care Coalition stopped him, right? Trump tried to take away the Affordable Care Act, and Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, the coalition stopped him. Now Trump is going to try to go after our health care again, go after Social Security benefits again through his tax cut, and Democrats have to stop them. So the message right now, as Hakeem Jeffrey said Friday, hands off Social Security and Medicare, hands off our health care. We're going to be driving that issue home to save people's health care, expand their benefits, don't take them away, and don't undo the good we did to limit prescription drug prices by taking that away in a broader bill. So that's going to be the fight. It's going to be about health care. It's going to be about the kitchen table, and it's going to be about jobs. And if we save our health care and we build out on people's ability to have careers and not just gigs, I think we win the fall elections now, a few months from now, in Virginia and New Jersey, and we're well on a path to winning 2026.
Attorney, author, political strategist, and as I said, daughter of Nancy, Christine Pelosi. Again, give our best to your mother. And Christine, all the best. You have a great year.
Thank you, Tavis. Happy New Year, everybody.
Good to have you on. More of Tavis Smiley, including a final conversation today with Tommy Davidson when we come forward.
This is getting good.
Yeah, man.
Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers,
We've been overindulging a little more than usual over the holidays. But now, we are starting the new year off on a healthier note by taking Active Liver supplements from New Nordic every day.
Active Liver contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract, all natural ingredients that help protect the liver so that it can protect you from toxins. It's like giving my body a daily detox. I've never felt better, and my energy is through the roof.
And my doctor is already impressed with how much better my numbers are looking. So if better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
Active Liver is available in both tablets and as a delicious gummy. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. The Minneapolis City Council approved a consent decree with the Department of Justice to reform the police department. Advocates hope it passes before President-elect Trump's inauguration as his administration opposes similar reforms. Arraignment is set for today for the man accused of setting a woman on fire on board a New York City subway train. Sebastian Zepeda allegedly then watched her burn to death on the subway. The undocumented Guatemalan faces murder and arson counts. Costco is recalling Kirkland Signature Severe Cold and Flu Plus Congestion Caplets due to potential foreign material contamination. The medication was sold in Midwest and Southern states between October 30th and November 30th. And the National Zoo in Washington, D.C. says 2 giant pandas have been enjoying their time tumbling in a winter wonderland. The pandas are set to make their public debut on January 24th. I'm Bree Wood on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers lost a close one in Minnesota last night. They fell short to the Timberwolves 108-106. A strong game from Clipper center Ivica Zubac, 17 points, 16 rebounds, and 6 block shots. Kawhi Leonard, playing in his second game this season, remains on a minutes restriction to protect his right knee. Leonard had 8 points in 21 minutes. The Clippers are at Denver Wednesday night. The Lakers are back in action tonight. They're at Dallas. The UCLA women's basketball team, ranked number 1 in the nation, is at Purdue tonight. The Bruins are 15-0, 4-0 in the Big Ten. USC's women's basketball team, ranked 4th in the country, is at number 8 Maryland Wednesday night. The Chargers made an interesting move on Monday. They signed free agent running back Ezekiel Elliott. Elliott was cut by the Dallas Cowboys last week. The Chargers might use him in Saturday's wildcard playoff game at Houston. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Somebody's been praying for me.
Thanks to the generous support of the KBLA Talk 1580 delegation, we were able to donate 545 pounds of coats and blankets to the LA Mission this winter season.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
The LA Mission expressed its deep gratitude for our gift all over social media, but we wish to thank them and all the other service providers who look out daily for the less fortunate in our community, finding our happy by being helpful.
Hallelujah.
We're KBLA Talk 1580, where we do more than just talk.
Somebody's been praying for me. What make you? Yeah.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
He's a paradigm pioneer and the top-rated African-American talk show host in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
Tavis Smiley and Tommy Davidson, the multi-hyphenated actor, comedian, singer, performer. Pleased to have Tommy Davidson back on this program. Before I get into the dialogue with Tommy, I mentioned earlier that there's a song called Stronger with Tommy Davidson and the elements, earth, wind, and fire. Tommy is, his brother does everything. Before I jump into the conversation, play this track for me, Miles Lowe, please.
But deep inside, they really don't. All right. Now life is filled with ups and downs, but let me tell you a little story. I was born with no silver spoon, 'cause my mama left me in the trash. But I don't blame her, I know God forgave her. When Barbara came to rescue me, oh, my life would never be the same. She gave me a family, frowned upon by society. Alright, ask me how I feel, ask me how I feel about my life. Ask me how I feel, it just made me stronger, so I could love life more. It just made me tougher, so I could rise and soar.
All right, Tommy Davidson, I'm going to let this thing ride, but I can already hear the autobiographical nature of the track. First of all, Happy New Year, my friends. Good to have you back on the program. Tell me about this song.
Tavis. Actually, this song ends up being not only autobiographical, it becomes a contemporary reality for African American Africans worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just we're not in control of this world economically or militaristically or politically, but we are in charge of our faith and our destiny, man. Because that's our birthright. Yeah. You know, we come from the strongest people ever that got to this day, prayed us to this day, and here we are.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
And so this thing has played itself out, you know, to what it really is. And I'm just grateful to you and I mean everybody, Stevie Wonder, KGLH, all of our efforts.
Yeah.
You know, Chicago, Detroit, Ghana, all of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because in creating a space for us in the future, we know that faith did it.
Yeah.
Stuff like the elections and stuff that happened. Fortunately, that kind of stuff just makes us stronger.
Yeah. I am always.
I can speak to that personally. You know what I mean?
No, and I love the track. I love the name. No, I love the track. I love the name Stronger. I'm always fascinated by the backstory of these things. How did you and the Elements get together on the track?
Nice question. You always ask the best questions. When I first got to L.A., my first big job was I starred in Eddie Murphy's pilot series, Coming to America.
Mm-hmm.
So I played his little brother from Zamunda that comes to live here. Well, the series didn't get picked up, you know. But a woman who was assigned to me for the show
mm-hmm.
to organize my script and to kind of be an assistant, you know, she worked for Eddie Murphy. Well, she was married to Virgin White, and still is currently.
Yeah.
And so I was spending Christmas at their house, and we became family over the next 30 years, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so when they heard that I was doing music, first of all, they wanted to hear it. But once they heard it, they just went, why don't you do something with us? And I was like, you sure? You know? And it came to be, and I would see Maurice all the time
mm-hmm.
when I got him to my success, and he would always put me to the side and say, "Hey, sing this song by us. Sing this song by us. Do this bass part. Do this guitar part," because he knew I knew the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So with this little black boy who lived in Washington D.C. with the white family, who got That's the Way of the World album for Christmas, you can't tell it as dreams don't come true.
Yeah. I want to probe your adoration, your love for their music. I mean, I know you as a person who loves music to begin with, but when you think about Earth, Wind, and Fire, and you think about their catalog, I don't need to color this question much more. Just talk to me about your love and appreciation for the Elements, musically.
Musically, what it did for me was it showed me that I can improve through music as a person. Keep Your Head to the Sky was a faith song. Evil was a song about truth, about it's around us everywhere. It was even as compelling as Gil Scott-Heron's In the Bottle for us. And we had that kind of movement going on musically in the early 70s. And so Devotion and all these songs, they got inside of me as a person. They tweaked my character without me knowing. And then you go to their live stuff and you go see the concerts and stuff. Everything is professional. So that's what really, really, really kind of nurtured me musically was their music, because it had both of those elements.
Yeah.
And that really, really got me going.
Yeah. When you think about Maurice, God rest his soul, the band is still here. Verdine's still there on stage, and that hair is still shaking around as he plays that bass. but since you mentioned Maurice, I'm glad you mentioned his name, because I mean that cat was a genius. Talk to me about Maurice as a songwriter. What do you make of his gift?
I think that gift was born out of Chicago, like a lot of them, like Sam Cooke and like the stair steps. Something was in the water, boy.
Yeah.
Dick Gregory, and it just came out of his experience. He wrote from a standpoint of what we needed.
Yeah.
What we needed, and I'm not just talking about black folks. I'm talking about what the world needed.
Yeah.
They had a song called Earth, Wind, and Fire. And the words are born of the earth, our nature's children, fed by the wind, the breath of life, judged by the fiery hands of God. He got that through the radios without it being secular.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was that songwriter, and then it was the whole group who did the writing. All of them as a group contributed all these different songs, and so the world is exposed to this group of people that gave a hell about their listeners.
Yeah. I am fascinated by what this moment, this full circle moment, must have felt like for you. We heard you say earlier, when you were a kid growing up in D.C., black kid, living with the white family, you get an Earth, Wind, and Fire album for Christmas. Fast forward decades later, and you're performing with Earth, Wind, and Fire. Tell me about that full circle moment, Tommy Davidson.
Everybody has to have a sense of purpose here.
Mm-hmm.
To stick with what they do, because there's so much despair and so much. There's so many challenges. You know what I mean? And we're only limited here for a minute anyway.
Yeah.
And what it did was it solidified my purpose. To be at a place like Hollywood and to have thrived in that thing for almost 40 years now, the completion of my purpose happened early to me. I'm 60.
Yeah.
So that's early. That epiphany doesn't happen for people until way, way later. So it was like a jump start to what's next. And the friends that I had and the people that you and all these people around me Dick Gregory, Stevie Wonder, Quincy, Kashif, all these people that gave to me and wanted nothing in return but my success. Don Cornelius was one of my biggest fans, and I didn't even touch the TV or a movie.
Yeah.
He saw me one time and said, "Brother, you are going all the way."
I guess is Tommy Davidson, and we should all be so lucky as to live long enough and have the opportunity to perform with our favorite band as he did with Earth, Wind, and Fire. More with Tommy Davidson when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Generous listening. Charitable listening. It's why everybody wants to talk to Tavis. The conversation continues when we come forward.
Welcome to Staples.
I am so pumped. My business is going to kill it this year.
Awesome. How can I help?
First, a new computer.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you save big on tech.
And new posters.
Save on custom printing, too.
And,
a new chair?
A chair? Who has time to sit?
Maybe all your new clients?
Now you're talking.
With Staples Home and Office Hot Deals, you'll find huge savings on custom prints, storage, chairs, and tech. And now save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Somebody bring out the confetti, baby!
Starting Monday, January 6th, KBLA Talk 1580 has a new midday lineup.
I'm excited!
Are you ready for Tavis Smiley, Dr. Cornell West, Jesse Jackson Jr., D.L. Hughley, and E. Quarterly Corte back-to-back?
Oh, my God!
Are you really ready for all this smoke?
I'm ready, brother.
Yes, we still have Dominique DePrima in the mornings and Zoe Williams in the evenings, but middays just got lit on KBLA Talk 1580.
We on fire.
All across America, people are talking about our new midday lineup. Starting Monday, January 6th, our KBLA 1580 app downloads are on fire because everybody's going to be tuning in.
Yes, I love you guys. You are the bomb.
Now would be a good time to hit up SMB at KBLA1580.com if you want folks to hear about your business or brand. That's SMB at KBLA1580.com. It's going up in 2025 on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's going up. That's what I want.
Freedom is an endless meeting, so let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Girl, you got me hungry for your love, so hypnotizing. Your love has taken over me. Don't waste a moment more. Oh, if you want it.
So Tommy Davis, you mentioned Kashif. Don't you dare turn that down, Miles. Leave it where it is. Oh, hold up. Here's my part. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. So you mentioned Kashif. I had to dig and pull something out, man. I love all this stuff, but this is one of my favorite Kashif songs. Since you mentioned Kashif, a name we don't hear often enough, that brother was so talented, a genius he was. What was your relationship? I mean, you were hanging out with Kashif back in the day?
Well, actually, I was a big Kashif fan when I was a kid, right?
Right.
And so when I finally got to Hollywood and got the movies and the TV and everybody knew my name, I met him.
Wow.
And we just hit it off, and we became the best of friends for years.
Wow.
For years and years. Because of him, I met Kenny G, and that went on. Kenny helped me with the music career by putting me on his first tour.
Yeah.
But because he did something for music that wasn't being done. He came in and was a producer that was an actual musician and artist at the same time. You know,
yeah.
The only person that had done that on that level was Sam and Rick James.
Yeah.
But he took it to a whole nother level because he brought in the Synclavier and all this. He brought in technology with it, and he brought his education of the music business with him.
Yeah.
So he owned all his masters. He owned all his stuff. He did all his own things, and he also wrote the biggest and first hit for Whitney Houston.
Mm-hmm.
You Give Good Love.
That's right. That's right.
So I've been a fan, but I was just lucky enough to have him pass through my life because he taught me so much about the business in general. But most of all, he taught me how to stay focused and keep my feet on the ground and not lose touch with the people.
I'm glad you mentioned his name, man. It's a name, as I said earlier, we don't hear often enough. Kashif passed away in 2016. I had the honor of knowing him as well as Tommy did and hanging out with him, spent some good time at Kashif. It was just speaking of full circle moment for me because I'm in college listening to Kashif all the time. Have no idea I'm going to come to L.A. and work for Tom Bradley and get into the business of radio and television and end up meeting Kashif and be his friend. Just freaked me out that I actually knew Kashif. Again, having listened to all his stuff when I was a student at Indiana University. But such is life. Tommy's had a fortunate and wonderful, good life, as have I, and he's still doing his stand-up. We'll talk about that in our remaining moments with Tommy Davidson when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Why does Tavis say, when we come forward? Because he's not going back. And you don't have to go back either. Forward ever, backward never. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada. Member FDIC.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe.
The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader, Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
It does indeed with Tommy Davidson for the next 3 minutes. I got 3 minutes left with Tommy Davidson. We talked about Tommy's music earlier and all the wonderful persons he's had a chance to meet and hang out with over his career on stage, on screen, and in the studio. But he's still doing, I think it's fair to say, I mean, I never asked you this question. I was about to say he's still doing his first love, which is stand-up. Would I be wrong about that? That's your first love?
Oh, yeah. Definitely my backbone is right there, boy. I couldn't have done anything without it.
Yeah. So if you happen to be in Southern California, he is this Sunday at the Ice House in Pasadena. That's this Sunday, January the 12th. If you're in Southern California, you can check out Tommy Davidson, again, doing his thing, as only Tommy does, this Sunday, January 12th, at the Ice House in Pasadena. When you say it's your backbone, unpack that for me. Because, I called you earlier a multi-hyphenate. You've done so many things. Why do you call stand-up your backbone?
Because it exposed me to everything I could do.
Yeah.
You know, I was asked to do stand-up by a friend of mine. I didn't even know I could do it. I went on stage. I said, what am I supposed to say? He said, just open your mouth, fool. So the first thing I said, people laughed. and they didn't stop until this day. I'm telling you. And so I wanted to sing and dance and do all those things that I already could do very young.
Yeah.
But I finally had, and how was I going to get to Hollywood out of D.C. and be an assistant chef at Ramada, in my little apartment, So it really was a catalyst, and I found out how much I had when I got there, how much more talent I had than the people that were around me, and that's been my surviving grace to this day.
Yeah.
Because if one road is blocked, like if singing is blocked, I can go do animation. If animation is blocked, I can go do acting. If acting is blocked, I can go do comedy. If comedy is blocked, I can go do writing. If writing is blocked, I can go over and do military shows. It just opened the whole gambit for me to be able to do the one thing I do best, which is translate happy to other people.
You do that, brother. I've seen you do it many, many times. Again, this Sunday, I'm out of time, January the 12th. If you're in Southern California, Tommy Davidson on stage at the Ice House in Pasadena. The song we played earlier, featuring Earth, Wind & Fire, is called Stronger. It's streaming on all music platforms. And congratulations to Tommy once again. Louder and Prouder. The Proud Family Show was renewed for a third season on Disney+. Tommy Davidson, I hear you, man. I hear you. He's a busy brother, and so I'm grateful for these 30 minutes that he squeezed out to talk to me today. Tommy, I love you. There ain't nothing you can do about it, man. Have a great year.
Hey, man, I love you so much. We were jealous of y'all in college because y'all had a great college, man. Y'all had everything, man. We wanted to go to college with y'all.
Get out of here. Get out of here. We love you, man. We love you. Stay strong. Have a great year. That's our program for today. Just like that, 3 hours gone. Back here tomorrow, Lord willing, to do it all over again. Until tomorrow, thanks for tuning in to Tavis Smiley. And as always, keep the faith.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know from BIN News. The Minneapolis